welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome for the very first time. What you're about to see, oh, excuse me, I just rolled off of my mat here on the floor from my computer chair. What you're about to see is everything that I sold on eBay in the month of May. So I am a stay-at-home mom. I have several children. I'm busy. I homeschool. I also work part-time as a real estate agent. I'm pretty busy, but I dabble in eBay. It's a hobby for me. It's just a fun thing I like to do, a way I can supplement my income very easily, and work it into my life when I have time, and when I don't have time, it's fine. So what you're about to see is a little snippet of everything I sold in the month of May, maybe a little bit of facts about the item and how much I sold it for. And then I'll be back at the end of the video and I will share with you statistics, how much total profit I made after all my expenses, what kinds of things, as far as numbers, how much of this and that sold, and maybe some other little details. But anyways, here is the footage of the items. This is a pre-owned but unused butterick sewing pattern for a couple different dresses here. My sewing patterns have really picked up in sales recently, and I'm attributing that to Joann Fabrics stores closing down. Could be wrong though, but there's really not many patterns out there that you can buy like there used to be patterns that you could buy. So this I sold for $11.55. And then I have these two glass mugs, and these are a thing. People are interested in these, but I don't know much about them myself. Portable stemless wine glasses. We have a glass tumbler. We have pink and orange. And these I got, it's been a while. I bought them at the Goodwill, and they were $2.99 each. And I sold these for $36.99. Okay, so here I have 5 cans of dry shampoo. We have 3 different varieties. 3 of this one. Gardenia, bamboo fiber and gardenia. Okay. 1 coconut milk and hemp. And 1 green tea and chamomile. These were from Wholesale Ninjas. I've had them a while. I have sold some others previously, but I sold a set of 5 of these for $28.99. And then I have a pre-owned CD. Well, it's actually 2 CDs. Todd Agnew, I think. And these are in good condition. This I sold for $10. And then lastly, this is one of those unsuspecting items. The Great Circus Parade, Milwaukee. This is July 1999, or July 09. I never heard of this, but this is a rare CD and people want it. I haven't had this listed very long. This came free from, well, not free, but we gave a donation at the end of the book sale for everything that was left over. This was one of those items, and this I sold for $18.99. Today I have a pre-owned paperback, but in really good condition, and this I sold for $9.89. And then a lot of 5 DVDs by the Collingsworth family, and these are pre-owned but in good pre-owned condition, and this lot I sold for $28.99. So today I have my weekend listing. So this is everything from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, since I only ship every business day. So I get a little bit of a break, and then sometimes I have a little bit of a pile up. So I have 6 sales from the weekend. These I listed recently. They are old vintage books. They're from 1945, and they're little field guides. Beautiful illustrations in them. Now these have some wear, they have some use, but overall they look pretty good considering how old they are. And
these are going to London. So someone had to pay a little extra to get these there. I do include shipping within the United States. But these are going to London. And I sold the pair of these together for $35. Now these I got for 50 cents a piece at a book sale recently. Was thrilled to find them. I have sold some of these before, and actually I have another single book, which is a duplicate of one of these, I'm not sure which I have listed separately. So this hasn't been listed real long, maybe 6 weeks to 2 months. So $35 for the pair of these. Then I have a pre-owned paperback in very nice condition, The First Amendment and the Remnant. This was my husband's personal book that he intended to read, but then realized that he would probably never get around to it. So he gave it to me. And this I sold for $22.99. So this is a large collection, a lot bag. It's a gallon Ziploc bag. And these are vintage. They're called a Viking. They're from Sweden. They're plastic vehicles. So there's like a coupe, there's a tractor, there is a trailer, a car, just various ones. You can see a tractor there. These I've had listed a while, probably at least 2 years. They've had a lot of interest, but they just were never purchased. So it looks like a trailer. But today they sold, or this weekend they sold. So I sold these for $47.99. So this is a little game pack. It's for 2 different like add-on games to this little, I don't know, this is a leapfrog little toy. I forgot what it's actually called, but it's like this green thing. And we have 3 of these. We have 2 greens and a purple. And so my kids wanted some of the expansion games that you could get for it. And so I found some on eBay. I bought, I think it was a lot of a couple of them. Okay, three different sets like this. 2 were the same and 1 was different. And I thought that I needed a set to add each one. Like I needed a package for each device. Well, it turns out you don't. So I didn't have to use one of these. And it's the Rocket Twist It game. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do with it? And I thought, well, I'll relist it. I'm not going to make a ton of money on it because it's going to cost, a little bit to ship it, but I'll make a little bit of money back. So I sold this for $7.99. It's brand new, unopened. And this I've had listed a while, probably about a year. Now this is a collection. It's just a mixed lot of Barbie doll clothes, accessories. You can see there's a pan here. I have a couple of different ones of these listed, and I have sold multiple of these. If I ever find Barbie accessories or Barbie clothes in a bag and they're reasonably priced, I buy them. Sometimes there's some real special treats inside of those bags. It just kind of depends on, what there is and the condition of what there is. This particular collection here, let's open it up. Okay, so you can see some things. Now, everything I had pictured, so if they know exactly what they're getting when they buy one of these lots from me, assortment of items. Some of them I don't know what they are. Some of them I do know what they are. It's kind of so it's a bit of a surprise. Anyways, isn't this cute? It's like some sort of breakfast ensemble. So somebody wanted what was in here. I don't know. Maybe they're missing some little items. Hard to say. This is just a real unique collection of things. A little cradle. I don't know if this is Barbie or not. So anyways, this lot of things I sold for $35.99. And on a side note, sometimes what I'll do is if I buy a lot of these grab bags at the Goodwill or various thrift stores, and sometimes they'll have like a pair of Barbie shoes in it, or a Barbie dress, or just a just a random item, not a collection of things. So what I'll do is just kind of open up one of these bags of Barbie lots that I have, and I'll just throw it in. So sometimes they might get a little treat, you know, a little extra item, a little bonus that isn't included in the listing, but just thought I would mention that. And this is a 2-yard cut of a cotton fabric. This is called Staples. It's by Clothworks for Marsha, but it's by Marsha Miklowski. So I picked this up somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't think it was a fabric fair. It probably was just a bag with some pieces of fabric in it. But I love selling fabric. It's one of my newer items that I've started tapping into. So this 2-yard piece I sold for $26. This is for Covergirl Exhibitionist lip glosses. It's kind of hard to read there. And these are all in the same shade of number 270. And these I sold for $10.56. These all came from a big collection of Covergirl Cosmetics I bought one time with a Wholesale Ninjas order that was like extremely discounted. I think everything ended up being like 20 cents an item. I got some valuable items from that. I don't know why that was priced the way it was. I felt like almost it was a fluke, but I think I got like 200 pieces of Covergirl items. It was super cheap. And then I also have a set of 3 shade number 955 Espresso Exposed. This is Maybelline actually. Yeah, this is a Maybelline lipstick, Color Sensational lipstick. And so the set of these I sold for $11.92. So here I have another sewing pattern, just my favorite thing to sell nowadays, or one of my favorite things. This sewing pattern I sold for $16.45, probably paid a quarter for it, or maybe it was free. I just recently acquired so many more patterns. I'm super excited. I don't know if you can see this box over here. Those are all sewing patterns. There actually are a couple more in this blue bag. I have over like 200 and some, 200 and maybe like 20. So super excited to get those listed. I have an absolute ton of things to list, so I really need to get to that. I also have a unique cream eyeshadow in shade Dainty. This I got from the Goodwill a while back. I just purchased a whole huge lot of unique cosmetics, all brand new, and I do have a video on that if that interests you to see what I got. And I sold this for $41.99. So today I have this 9-piece triangle template set for different quilting designs. It's by So Easy. Beautiful pink color. This I've had actually for a couple years now. I got this at a yard sale, and it is brand new. The packaging is a little crumpled, but it's still in original packaging and unopened. But I got this at a yard sale. I also got at the same yard sale quite a few brand new quilt books that were like really good quality, duplicates of the same ones. And those sold like instantly. I don't know where these folks got all this special new sewing stuff, but it was a great yard sale. I really enjoyed it. So I think this is the last of the things from that yard sale. Also got some brand new pajamas for my children at that yard sale. Anyhow, so this sold, and I haven't been to many yard sales this year. I don't know if I might have been to one. I need to get to it, because yard sales are a great place to find things. So this I sold for $20.12. The True Gospel of Christ versus the False Gospel of Carnal Christianity. This is just a little paperback book. And this I sold for $10. And then I also have Stomping Out the Darkness another pre-owned book with an included study guide. And this one I sold for $10.55. These are by Art Bin. They are marker storage trays that you can use in these specific storage bins. So each package of these, I think, holds 64, up to 64 markers. And there's two. Is it one thick or is it two? It's one. Yeah, and so I have a lot of two of these. These I've had a while. I paid $1.99 for each of these a while ago. So I've had them a while, and they sold. An interesting thing is, these sold, and something else I had in the same bag that I hadn't sold anything out of in quite some time sold. So it was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, unique that, you know, these items both came from these bags, or this bag, after so long of not having anything from this bag. So for the set of two of these, I sold them for $23.99. This is a pre-owned paperback on Heaven's Doorstep in really nice condition, and this I sold for $10. Today I have two books from this series, $1 Million Mysteries. These are ex-library books. They do have some wear. You can probably see they have like a contact paper put over top of them. All the old library, you know, stamps and stickers. And I sold the two of these. I think they're books 5 and 6. Or 4 and 5, yeah. For $13. So that's that. And then we have World Prayer, which is also a pre-owned paperback, but in excellent condition. And this book I sold for $11. This is a pre-owned McCall's Costumes pattern that has been pre-owned but unused and still factory folded. And this is, what sizes is this in? Oh, it's in sizes 2 to 4. And this I sold for $12.99. This is a pre-owned ex-library Marshall Cavendish Illustrated Encyclopedia of World War II, Volume 25. So it has all the traditional markings that you see in a library book or ex-library book. And this I sold for $12.55. This is a pre-owned DVD session series by Kathy Lee Gifford. The Rock, the Road, and the Rabbi, in very nice used condition. And this I sold for $12.50. Here I have a pre-owned pattern. Again, pre-owned but unused, factory folded. The envelope has a little wear for some different button-up blouses. And this I sold for $9.95. And then I have a pre-owned DVD, The Fabric of the Cosmos. And this is by PBS. In good used condition, and this I sold for $8.75. So what I have here is a lot of 11 little packages of these. They're called Star Wars Rivals Expandable Game System, and there are 5 dark and 6 light. I actually had a whole case of these, but I realized that some of them had been opened and like someone had put like a different clear plastic circular sticker over the seal. So I guess somebody had bought some and returned them. So what I did was I ended up selling those as opened boxes with what was inside of them. And then these ones still have the original seal. So these ones are sold as new. But anyways, I got these at this clearance I stumbled across at Walmart. It was like, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but for me, either clearance at Walmart is like or occasionally I stumble across fantastic clearances. So this was one of those fantastic clearance days. They had multiple tables set up with all kinds of kids' toys on them. And these are $1 a piece. So they had many more. but I just took this one case of them. So anyhow, I've sold these now. These I sold for $57, and so total expense was $11 plus tax. And then I also have a 3-book little series here. It's called the Warbler Cottage Romances. And these are pre-owned vintage books, but in nice condition. And these I sold for $12.75. These were from a book sale that we gave a donation for what was left, and so that's how I came across these. So this is a Honeycomb Kids Cowboys and Indians Shootout. This was something that you could get from Cereal Honeycombs. It's dated 1976, and there are these little pegs. There are instructions. I've had this listed quite a while, and I believe this was my husband's childhood item. And this I sold for $12.45, so glad that that's sold. I also have a pre-owned DVD, The Baby War, and this is in good used condition. I sold this for $8. I also have a copy of Unger's Bible Handbook, hardcover with dust jacket. This is a 1973 copy, so you can see it has some wear, it has some age, but it's the first edition and the 6th printing of the first edition. So this I sold for $17. Okay, so here I have a lot of 6 vintage dinosaurs. Most of them still have the original tag by D.T.D. Norfolk. These I couldn't find anything like when I listed them, and they have been listed a while. They are really unique. They're kind of a testament to how nothing is made as good as it used to be. The colors, the paint work on these is really neat. There's a year, 1994. They also have incredible weight to them. They're just a really solid dinosaur. Just really nice. And had my children not had a huge collection of dinosaurs already, I would have kept these for them. But they have a very large collection, and so I had listed these. Now these I paid $2 for at a thrift store, which is like an incredible value. And I probably have had these listed about 2 years. They did take a while. They had a lot of watchers, but these were a higher price item, and you know, they're play dinosaurs. So we had to wait for the right individual for these. But they have sold now $43.99 for the set of 6 of these. And this is a Johnny Cash t-shirt. The Man in Black. This I sold for $12. I got it for $1 at Walmart. Actually, I got several different t-shirts when I bought this one at clearance on Walmart for $1. Many different styles of shirts. I mean, they had like, I don't know, probably like 400 t-shirts for $1 the day I was there. I did not buy them all. I just picked out some different ones that I thought would be good. And interestingly, not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, I received an email saying that I was selling a copyrighted, something that was created fraudulently, like with the copyright that they didn't have, I didn't have authority to duplicate this. And eBay had removed the listing. And so I emailed back and said, like, I don't have any knowledge of this. I actually got at Walmart, and I'm just reselling it. I can't imagine Walmart would be selling something that, they weren't allowed to sell. And so I never heard anything. It took probably 4 weeks, and then I finally got a reply, and they said, "We're sorry, we made an error, and we will reinstate your listing." It's been reinstated. So I don't think it was the Johnny Cash t-shirts, but it was another t-shirt that I got at the same time. A similar, it was like an artist t-shirt. So I was happy that that worked out well, but it was a strange scenario. So anyways, paid $1, sold this for $12. So this is a lot of 5 pre-owned CDs. They're all CDs with David O'Neill, who is a trumpet performer of some sort. And these I sold together as a lot for $19.99. Here I have 2 packs of brand new Warner underwear. It's a 5-pack in high cut medium. Boxes are identical. These I got at Walmart for $1 a box. I have been selling them periodically. So this is a lot of 2, and the price was a little higher than what I sold it for. I had a watcher on them. I sent them a offer that was 5% off, and they accepted it. So I sold the 2 of these for $27.12. Here I have a lot of 7 Jim Henderson's Muppet books. So these I've actually had this for a while. They do have some wear to them, particularly on the spine. You can see they have a lot of fading. But I was excited to sell these. I guess maybe the orange and green kind of faded a little more than the others. But anyways, a lot of 7 of these, and I sold those for $16. And then I have a pre-owned DVD, Angel Miracles. It's a 2 DVD set. The discs look nice. And this I sold for $10. And a pre-owned paperback, 3 views on the Millennium and Beyond. This has some wear to it, has some age to it, but then there's a name on the inside. Overall, good usable condition. And this I sold for $10 as well. And then my last sale of the month, this is a vintage linen by Vogart. So it's a stamped embroidery design. And here I opened it up so you can see it a little more. God bless our home. And there's some details down here about it, but it's hard to read. But it's 100% linen. It's a sampler. That's the number Vogart. There's an old price tag there. And then by a miracle, I actually had the embroidery color chart that goes with this design. So I had these listed together. I'm not exactly sure where it is in here, but this shows like the different designs that people could have purchased, and then the recommended colors, and a little bit of, I think there's a stitch key as well. So pretty neat. This I've had for sale for a while too. I thought it would sell a little sooner than it did, but it didn't. Oh, here you go. There's some more instructions for stitches. Really neat. And I wish I knew the age on this, but I don't. It's at least 50s or 60s. So anyways, I sold the little set of these for $21.75.
So you just saw all that footage. For the month of May, I had a total of 42 sales, which I think is pretty good considering I have done very poorly with my listing in the last few months. I've always felt like there's a connection between how much I list and how much traffic I get on eBay. So the end of this past month, I gave myself an artificial deadline. I told myself I wanted to list 100 items the last week of May because I had listed none. And, you know, taking a break is great, but as you're selling things, you know, and you're not listing things, you end up having less and less for sale. I mean, it can't go on endlessly and still and you still have, you know, a growing active eBay business. So gave myself the artificial deadline, 100 listings for the last week, and so I did it, and that is exactly what I listed in May, 100 items. But the first substantial amount of listings in the last couple months anyways. But even still, if you take off this 42 I sold, I really only am ahead 58 listings. And when you take into account what I didn't list previously, I'm not where I was. I have been working towards 2,000 listings, 2,000 active listings for a couple years. I've had that as a goal, and I have not made it there yet. But maybe this year, maybe there's hope. I'm going to continue to give myself some artificial deadlines to try to, get my inventory built up. Right now I'm sitting at about 15 or 1,600 active listings. So anyways, 42 sales for the month of May, and my total profit after my shipping costs, after my item costs, after my fees from eBay, my total profit was $371.08. And when I divide that by 42 sales, I have an average profit per sale of $8.84. Now, here's some interesting little tidbits. 4 of those sales were sewing patterns. So one of my new things that I've been selling is sewing patterns. And actually, at the end of May, I only had 58 sewing patterns left in my inventory of active items. I have since started to list a bunch of sewing patterns. I have about 200 total to get listed. And so I'm anticipating more sales of patterns as that inventory increases. But I've really been enjoying listing those and selling those. Also, 17 DVDs and CDs went out in those 42 sales. So not 17 individual sales, because there were a couple lots, like 2 books here, 3 books there, or I'm sorry, 2 DVDs, or, I know there was a set of 5 audio CDs by David O'Neill, I think, so. But anyways, 17 total. Books, I sold 23 total books out of those 42 sales. Again, there were a couple paired together in little lots, but those were primarily the items I sold the most of. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please share with me your thoughts about what I sold, what you sell on eBay. If you have interest in selling on eBay, please check out my other videos, and I'll be back again soon.